Welcome to the Motherhood Alliance podcast, the podcast dedicated to empowering moms and families on their health and wellness journey. I'm Brittany Suttner.
And I'm Andrea Rankus. Together, we're here to explore holistic approaches that go beyond conventional medicine.
Each week, we dive into topics that matter most to you, everything from nutrition and mental health to alternative therapies and natural living.
We'll bring you the expert interviews, insightful discussions, and practical tips to make motherhood a little easier and help your family thrive.
Please keep in mind that this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and is not intended to replace the advice, diagnosis, or treatment plans you have with your personal healthcare team. Please have a conversation with your trusted healthcare provider prior to making any changes or implementing any strategies or advice you learn from this podcast.
Whether you're a new mom navigating the early stages of parenthood or a seasoned pro looking for new ways to support your family's well-being, you're in the right place.
Here at the Motherhood Alliance podcast, we challenge the status quo, ask the tough questions, and offer a supportive community for moms who want to make an informed, holistic choice.
Thank you for joining us on this journey.
Let's get started. Hi, we are Britt and Andrea from motherhoodalliance.com, and we are excited to welcome you to a 4-episode series with Sara Lindgren, a registered nurse, functional nutrition professional, health restoration coach, assistant professor of nursing, and the owner of Inspire Wellness NEW. With over 20 years in healthcare and a passion for functional and integrative wellness, Sara helps people uncover the root causes of chronic illness and guide them towards stronger, healthier bodies. She's all about practical foundational habits like sleep, nutrition, and movement that empower the body's natural ability to heal. And I will say, we go pretty in-depth in the science side of these episodes because, like I mentioned, she's a professor, so she really knows her stuff. When she's not coaching or teaching, you'll find her staying active, enjoying family time on her boat, cheering on her 3 daughters at their music and sports events, or traveling with her husband, Tim. It's time to turn up your volume. Let's welcome Sara to the mic.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Motherhood Alliance podcast. We're back here with Sara, and we have had an amazing conversation these last 3 episodes. If you guys haven't listened to those, I highly recommend it. The first one, we talked about stress, cortisol. We talked about gut health and that, but we dove even deeper into episode 2 about gut health, detox, gallbladders, all sorts of things. I mean, it's amazing. And then this last one, we talked about autoimmunity and how it doesn't have to be a lasting forever disorder. It's just amazing the type of information that we've just gone through. So, but in this one, we touched a little bit on this in the first episode, but bioactive peptides. And this is something that you just started not too long ago for yourself. And you had talked a little bit about that in the first episode, and we can talk more about your experience as well in this one. But what are they? Let's just start with that.
Yep. So the scientific explanation is peptides are strings of amino acids, and they are not as big of a chain, if you will, to be a full-blown protein, but they're kind of in the middle there, if you will. And they direct a lot of body processes in different ways, again, depending on the type of peptide that you're talking about. So proteins are the building blocks of so many different parts of our cells. So peptides are a component of that. They can help direct signaling from when hormones are binding to receptors, which again, if your hormones don't bind to receptors, then that signal they're trying to send is lost. So peptides can help facilitate that. They can help drive enzymatic reactions. So for example, we talked about dairy in the last episode. If I eat something that is dairy-based, I have to have a way to break down lactose. Enzymes are things that catalyze those types of reactions. And there's tons of different enzymes in your body, and peptides can help facilitate those reactions, if you will. They can help drive, cellular, like DNA, RNA types of responses as well. They can help direct some of the inner workings of the cells. And they're just overall, they're very, think of them as little messengers that are going throughout the body and helping to direct body processes in all different tissues, again, just in different ways, depending on the peptide that you're talking about.
Are we talking like collagen peptides? Like we're talking, because people would know collagen from or peptides from like say Vital Proteins or these other brands. Is this the same thing or is it completely different?
It's similar in that it's a peptide.
Okay.
Collagen peptide, well, there's different types of collagen. There's like type 1, 2, and 3. And there may be more than that too, and they all work and break down in a little bit different way. Collagen peptides, from my understanding, are going to, once you take them, of course, they're going to be broken down in the stomach, in the gut in a certain way, and they're meant to help facilitate connective tissue, skin repair, things like that. Bioactive peptides, and I can't speak to all different types. I can only speak to the ones that I've been using, but they are developed in such a way that as they are absorbed and sending their signals throughout the body, they're absorbed in a very specific part of the digestive tract so that they can give the full benefit to the body versus if you take, there are certain collagens that are going to be broken down maybe earlier, before they reach the full end of the gut. And so they can't necessarily exert that full benefit.
Okay.
Whereas bioactive peptides in the way that they are designed can do that. And again, the ones that I use, for the most part, there are a couple that come in tablets, but come in a powder-based form. And that's to facilitate absorption in a very specific part of the digestive tract to get the full benefit.
Okay.
Who are these for? Are they for everyone?
They can be for everyone.
Are they for specific symptoms that people are having? Tell us more about who would you recommend these to?
Now, in general, if someone has, because I'm not a diagnostician, if someone has certain comorbidities, I'm always going to say, make sure you check with your provider before trying these. But in general, yes, there can be benefits for everyone. And it just depends on what they are taking and what they are looking for. So for example, the one that I take every morning is something that is shown a lot of different benefits for different people. I take one, it's called Fit, and it's got not only, the reason I like these two is it has not only some peptide blends in it, but it also has a high amount of B vitamins. B vitamins are energizing. They are directly helpful in your mitochondria creating energy. So if you're low on your B vitamins, that's one reason you may have low energy or fatigue. It also has a little bit of magnesium. It has some vitamin D, and it's all in this nice, very tasteful blend. So it's very helpful for a lot of different reasons. So, and again, if you're like me, the more I can get in one product, then
for sure.
the less I have to, or the less amount of things I have to take. A lot of times that facilitates better, I don't want to say compliance, but better remembering of taking things and better consistency. So this has been shown to help, of course, with energy for people that are trying to improve their activity or working out and not feel maybe so run down or so fatigued afterwards. It has shown a lot of improvement with patients, or I should say more females that are going through maybe periods of hormone imbalance, especially if that hormone imbalance is in that perimenopause phase. They've found a lot of good anecdotal response, meaning that not everybody necessarily checks their hormones before they take it and then checks their hormones 6 months after it. But they feel better. They feel more balanced. They have more energy. They're ready to attack the day. They're ready to do all the things and not have that crash in the afternoon or not feel completely exhausted by the end of the day. So anybody that wants those, those types of responses, those types of results, yes, as long as they don't have any contraindications, which honestly, I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Yeah, I was going to ask
they should be able to take those.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you're talking about working out and stuff like that, I'm also thinking about EAAs, BCAAs, so essential amino acids, branched chain amino acids. There's a lot of stuff on the market for those. Are these similar? Are they different? How do they? What's the difference?
So essential amino acids are ones that you don't necessarily make in your own body, and that's why they're essential that you get them from food. The non-essential ones are ones that you do synthesize in your own body. These are going to be similar in that they are peptides. I can't say for sure if each one of them is an essential versus a branch chain off the top of my head, because there are several different ones in there, but they are similar in that they are all natural compounds that are going to support normal, healthy function, optimal function of the body. The reason I like them and I'm not, everybody has their own opinion. I am not a proponent of the GLP-1 agonists that are currently on the market, because those are also a peptide too. So I want to clarify what I'm talking about are natural bioactive peptides, not synthetic peptides. And what that means is they are derived from natural products that your body recognizes. It's not something that has been created or synthesized in a lab. While those have acute benefits, if you've known anyone who's taken a GLP-1 agonist, for example, that they have shown weight loss. You can see it. It's very quick. Comparatively, it's quick compared to some of the other modalities that are going to help, for example, with weight loss. The downside is that it's very quick, which means that there's a lot of, altered processes going on within the body because of that. And part of what those peptides do is in the process of losing weight from them, they not only in general cause that weight loss, but they can cause loss of lean muscle mass.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's not just the weight you're losing, but it's the type of weight you're losing. Whereas these bioactive peptides, they promote building up of lean muscle. But if someone is really looking for weight loss, the way that these can help is supports normal metabolic function, is what I'm trying to say. So if you are losing weight, it's losing that weight that you don't necessarily want while promoting a building up of lean muscle mass. And that's why another reason you feel more endurance, you feel like your performance is better, you can recover a little bit quicker because you're not losing those healthy proteins, which seems counterintuitive since peptides actually help build up proteins.
Yeah, I want to stay on GLP-1s for a minute because they are like all the thing right now.
Yeah.
So, okay, first question. Are all GLP-1s synthetic? Are they made in a lab, or are there any bioactive GLP-1s?
So from my understanding, again, I don't have anything to do with developing them or marketing them or anything like that. My understanding is that the injectable ones that are kind of all the rage right now are synthetic. They're synthetically made. And the reason that they work differently. So for example, the bioactive peptides, I drink them every day. I have to take them every day because half-life is such that it's more comparative to my normal body peptides. So that's why I have to take them every day to support that normal function. The GLP-1 agonists that are created in, as medicinal use, from my understanding, with them being synthetic, first of all, that's why you can inject them. They are injectable, but you only, depending on your journey or your prescription or whatnot, oftentimes clients may have to take them once a week or maybe once every couple of weeks, once a month, something like that. And the reason that you can spread them out longer like that is because the half-life has been altered because they are synthetic. So, the advantage is you don't have to worry about it every day. But again, the disadvantage is anytime you're putting something synthetic or altered in your body, there's a chance that it's going to alter normal body processes.
Right.
You may have that desired effect you're looking for, but what are the downstream negative effects that are that are the side effects? Right. There's no medication, and these are, inclusive of that. There's no medication without a side effect.
Well, and you think too, I don't know, I've not looked into these myself either, but like, how long do you take them? If you stop taking them, what's going to happen? Bounce back, these kinds of questions that people might have.
I don't offer this anymore, but I used to do IV infusions as part of my integrative services. And just logistically, there's a couple of reasons I discontinued that a few months ago. But the company that I went through did start to offer those GLP-1s, and I just never jumped on board with that. It wasn't something that I was comfortable doing. But to answer your question, there was very specific guidelines that if we were going to offer that to clients, that they had to have a certain BMI.
Okay.
And I forget exactly what it was, but once they dropped below that, they were no longer eligible, at least through this company, for the GLP-1s. And it makes sense to a point because most people take them for weight loss.
Yeah.
And once you lose weight, if you continue to lose it, you're going to be more in that unhealthy underweight.
And some people might go too far.
Right. The side effect of that is, or the negative part is, once you go off them, it's just like when you have bariatric surgery, it might help for a little bit, but if you go back to your normal eating habits, people put the weight back on. If we don't address what was the root cause of their being overweight in the first place, once they go off those GLP-1s, very often they're putting that weight back on.
Yeah.
And then again, we get frustrated. Well, this didn't work for me. Why didn't it work? Well, because we didn't address root cause, or we didn't change other lifestyle factors in addition to doing that.
Okay. Yeah, I will admit, like GLP-1s, I have not done research on them.
Not
but
really.
We live in a microwave society where as soon as you have a product that's going to create fast results, especially when it comes to weight loss, everybody's going to raise their hand. But I think the smart thing also to do is to be like, wait, how?
Right.
That's not quite right. So again, I'm not an expert in those. There's probably plenty of people who are in holistic health and wellness that do offer them. But it is confusing to me that, so these are considered a peptide.
Correct.
Right? Which is amino acids. So how do you inject these into your body and then they start to melt your innards?
Yeah. And I don't know the pharmaceutical makeup of them, but I can tell you in general. So when I was going through my health coaching certifications, the way, we first were starting to dive into supplements, peptides, vitamins, things like that. The way it was explained, and it just really made a lot of sense to me, is the way natural products, like again, a peptide or a supplement, support the body is, for example, everything in your body is super complex. So everything is multi-step. So if you have A that needs to convert to D, so D can do its job, the body has very specific steps where A will convert to B, convert to C in order to get D. Now that can do its job. Medications, again, this is a broad bucket, but in general, we'll take A, skip letters B and C, and convert it to D right away. And so because you skipped those processes in the middle, there's a reason we were made to have all these processes. Right. It may lead to a similar result, but it can cause maybe dysfunction in the middle. And nothing in the body happens in silos. Everything is just interconnected. And hormones is a really good example that I know we're not specifically talking about that, but just to illustrate this point, if I am incredibly stressed and I need to fill my cortisol bucket to support my stress response, if I can't get it or if I don't have enough cortisol, I'm going to go upstream to another hormone called maybe progesterone. Now I'm going to steal from that bucket. So now my progesterone is maybe depleted, which is maybe leading to estrogen dominance. And now maybe that bucket isn't even giving me enough. I'm still dealing with a stressor. So now I'm going to start pulling from my estrogen and testosterone buckets. And so again, it's just an example of how one thing can cause a cascade of other things to occur. And when we take medications, and again, some of them are good. Acutely, if I have an infection, I want an antibiotic. If I have a broken bone, I want something to help with the pain, so it's not to say that all medications don't have a purpose, because they certainly do, but it's the amount that you take and how long and the different effects and how they interact with each other that can lead to a lot of problems. And that's why I'm just not a fan of those in general, the GLP-1 peptides that are kind of flooding the market now that are more synthetically based, because they're finding now that they've been out for long enough time, they're finding some of those negative side effects that people are having, especially when they go off them.
Yeah. And it's one of those things like I will never jump on the wagon of something brand new ever.
100%.
I guarantee
if it's a miracle drug, there's something we haven't found about it.
Technology,
that is
anything.
Not going to be good in the future.
Yeah, they're going to figure it all out on somebody else, not me.
Exactly.
It is so funny how, though, in health and wellness, wellness is complicated, right?
So complicated.
And there's always more to learn. There's
yeah.
always more. But it is so funny when it comes to bandwagons, because people can create a new bandwagon in wellness instantly. You just come up with an idea and you're like, I'm going to flood
a different word of saying something.
Yes.
Yeah, a different term.
But I just think about when cold showers started becoming kind of a big thing.
Yep.
And I'm like, I am not jumping on that bandwagon. Maybe I'll do some research. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. That's a silly example, but it's just, it's just funny how one person does it.
I know.
Yes, there are major benefits to so many of these things. I'm not saying don't take cold showers, because there are benefits to it.
Really great benefits.
Really great benefits to it. Do it. I don't, but you know what? Everybody's different. I have other things that I do that you may not do. Anyways, it's so funny. But so let's get back to the bioactive peptides. If somebody wants to explore these, they can get bioactive peptides through somebody like you.
Yep.
Correct. And obviously that's probably what I would recommend, because you're getting it from a reputable source.
Right.
But I'm guessing these can also be purchased in stores, Amazon, all these. There's probably a lot of ways that people can get these. If they don't go through a professional like you, what are some things to look for or look out for when it comes to the brands and different types and things that they say?
Yeah. And so I can speak to this just in general with peptides, supplements, vitamins, all of those I always tell my clients, those types of products are things that you truly do get what you pay for. If you are buying a bottle of 500 of a certain vitamin or peptide and it costs you $5, there's something wrong with it. And the reason I say that is because, there isn't any FDA oversight for vitamin supplements or peptides, which honestly, I don't think is a bad thing. But with that, there's nobody saying, yep, exactly what is on the label is what's in that bottle. And so one of the things that I look for is any product that has some third-party testing. So somebody, not involved in the company has come in and tested that product. Yep, that's actually what's in there. Oh, and that is the amount of what's in there, compared to what's on the label. Otherwise, it's not tested.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily know. The other thing then is I always say, well, you want to look for what isn't in there. You want a product that is, so for example, for my clients that were trying to get off dairy, I met with one yesterday. She's feeling amazing now that she cut out dairy. Any supplement that I recommend for her has to be dairy-free. So I'll look for wheat-free, dairy-free, gluten-free, egg-free if they have, soy-free. There's a lot of different things you want it to be free of depending on what that person is maybe sensitive to. But also I look for things that are free of dyes, artificial coloring, those kinds of things, because they can be inflammatory. So if I'm trying to take maybe a vitamin D, but it's full of these fillers that are inflaming me, I'm kind of getting a wash. I'm not getting really a good benefit of that supplement or of that product. And, it's the same with peptides. I want it to have the things that are in there and not anything else. And so I look for what does it have, but also what doesn't it have. And then as often as you can, of course, you want some organic products in there.
Yeah.
Because again, if it's not organic, what was it sprayed with, or, what was it contaminated with before it was put into that supplement. So those are the things that I look for. And again, anything that has gone through that rigorous testing that has been made with very specific and very clean products is going to come with a higher price.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that you have to break your budget by buying all of these, high end stuff. Sometimes you can find some mid-grade stuff, but you want to make sure that it's free of those inflammatories.
Yeah. It's a good company.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Look at the reviews. Go to their website, see if they have third-party testing. Those kinds of things are what you want to look for.
With your bioactive peptides, you said you take it in a drink form. Is that just once a day? Or how often do you take this?
So some of them you can take more than once a day. I have found a lot of relief just with them once a day. And again, because they are a clean product, they aren't the cheapest product out there. They're by no means the most expensive, but I do take them once a day. I take the one that's got those B vitamins and things that are packed in it in the morning. And then I take one called Hydrated, which has also a lot of good electrolytes in it. No dyes, no sugar, none of that other stuff. I take that during the day. This morning I actually just mixed them because you can do that too and you're going to get the same benefit. It just depends on how you like it and the flavoring that you like. Now, like I said, there are some that do come in a capsule, especially, like I said, I'm really speaking from the company that I get mine from. And the reason the ones that are in a capsule is because the peptide in them is going to be most beneficial at maybe a lower end in the digestive tract. And so they don't want it to break down and be released until it gets to that lower end of the digestive tract. So there is a rhyme, reason, science behind everything that they have done to create their peptide products.
And what's the brand that you go through?
I go through Make Wellness.
Make Wellness.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So if someone wants to try these, see how it makes them feel, what would be a good time frame that they should really be committed to trying them? We talked about
least 3 months.
3 months.
At least. Like I said, I am going on my 3rd month now of very religious use of the Fit and Hydrated. And then there's a different product called Lean. I don't take it to lose weight, but I take it to complement the other peptides in the Fit and Lean. And honestly, it comes in a bundle, which is another reason I do it, because you get a little bit of a discount if you do the bundle. But it helps with the metabolic function. It really helps support some of the other actions of Fit to really support metabolism. And metabolism is how you use things to make energy. It's giving the mitochondria in your cells the correct tools, but then how are they using that to make energy? I've been doing it for, like I said, going on my 3rd month. When I started and I was first kind of getting involved with the company, asking all the questions, is this something that I want to do? 3 to 6 months was their general recommendation.
I love learning about new things.
Yeah.
All right. Well, a couple things before we close out here. Sara is offering a $10 off coupon for your first order of peptides if you choose to get them through her. The code is GIVE10. And then also on the Motherhood Alliance website where her profile is, she also wrote a blog called Natural Wellness at the Cellular Level, the Power of Bioactive Precision Peptides. Go ahead and check that out. We will link to all of that in the show notes if you want to continue your learning of this topic. These were some awesome episodes, Sara. Thank you so much for joining us.
It was fun. Thank you for having me.
And one thing we always love to ask a guest before they leave our episode series is, what does the future hold for your business and yourself?
So my business is continuing to grow. I am a sole provider right now, but I am going to be, I guess I can say it, my husband is going to be joining me soon and offering another service. So I'm going to keep that a little bit under wraps just till we're ready. It's going to be in May of 2026 that we'll be adding a new service, but continuing to expand. Right now, most of my health coaching is one-on-one. Clients really like that personal feel. I do, it can be virtual or in person, but I'm looking to expand. I'm currently in process of developing a gut health, or actually more, it's a gut-brain connection class. So it's going to be a 5-week class where I have people come in once a week, and we'll do a different topic on gut-brain health throughout each of the 5 weeks. They're going to get a binder. They're going to get some homework to do every week, and it's going to be fun. I'm also looking to expand to employer-based health coaching. So if someone wants someone to come in for health coaching for a group of employees, whether that be once a week, once a month, if they have a topic in mind, if they want me to come up with something, that's what I'm looking to expand into as well. And then just continuing to offer the advanced functional labs. Detox foot baths, infrared sauna, those things are all in the works. And then especially for the sauna and the detox, if they do buy a bundle of those, there is a discount, of course, but they'll also get a free service in their birthday month. So that's a perk to that.
Yeah. So much fun.
Yeah.
So much fun. Oh, and you're also a professor too. So, throwing all the, and a mom, and I'll throw this other stuff in. So super amazing. Thank you for sharing all that. And we are excited to watch all this unfold.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed this episode, would you consider leaving a rating or review or sharing it directly with a friend who could benefit from the information? We know that you're a busy mom or caregiver, and our goal is to make your life easier by bringing tips and tricks directly from experts into your earbuds. By sharing this episode with someone you love, you can play a critical role in helping to make their life easier as well. We appreciate your time, and thank you for being a part of the Motherhood Alliance family.